Hey guys, welcome back to Show Me Firearms. Today we're going to be talking about some firearm maintenance, specifically keeping those guns all nice and lubed up for maximum longevity out of those internal components. Now, to be honest, the type of gun lube that I had been using wasn't something that I gave a whole lot of thought to until recently. Now, I started thinking more about the type of lube I was using on my guns here recently when my buddy Jake from JTF Consulting reached out and I was like, hey, I've got some weapon lube coming out. Do you want to do a review of it and let the people know what you think? I was like, yeah, I'm down for that. So Jake sent out some grease and some oil, and I've tried both of these out on a couple of my guns. So we're going to take a look at those in today's video, and I'll let you guys know what I think about this weapon lube from JTF Consulting. Let's start things off by talking about this fully synthetic weapon oil right here. The initial thought I had when I first opened this thing up right out of the box was, hey, this has got a handy dandy little eyedropper applicator thing right here. And you can just drip the oil out of the end right there in a very measured amount, and you can apply it to very specific parts of your guns. Now, this may not seem like all that big a deal about this product, but for me it was, because up until this point, the oil that I had been using, it just like sprayed out of a little bottle and it just got all over everywhere, and it was impossible to get the proper amount of oil onto the parts of the gun where I needed it to go. This little eyedropper on Jake's oil right here really allows you to get a specific amount on a very specific part of the gun. So, small little detail about this product, but I think it goes a long way. The other thing I noticed about this oil from JTF Consulting is the viscosity of it. Like, if you just watch it drip off of the eyedropper right there, it just is so slow to drip off of there. And up until this point, the oil I had been using, I think it was Rem oil from Remington, that stuff is very, very thin, very, very runny. And it comes in that little spray bottle, like I said, and you spray it and it just gets all over everywhere because it's being sprayed and it's so runny, it just doesn't stay where you want it to stay. But the high viscosity of this oil, along with that little eyedropper, allows you to get the oil exactly where you want it, and it sticks to that part of the gun much, much better. So yeah, I really like the eyedropper in this product right here. Along with that very high viscosity, it just allows it to stick to those internals much, much better and gives them a much better coating. Now I decided to try that JTF Consulting gun oil out on my Glock 17 here. Now unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take the slide off to show you guys how well that oil is coating the internals, because YouTube, as you guys know, doesn't like it when you take guns apart, and it would violate their safe space. And when you violate YouTube safe space, they demonetize you. So you guys are going to take my word for it. The oil is coating these internals very, very well. And since those internals are coated so well with that oil, this slide glides so smoothly over those rails. I've never felt this slide glide so smoothly over those rails the entire time I've had this gun. And I purchased this gun brand new also. And this slide feels amazing. And again, I know you guys can't really get a good appreciation for how good the slide feels because you would actually have to rack it yourselves. But again, take my word for it, this slide feels amazing. It glides effortlessly over those rails, and I've never experienced that before on this Glock. And it's all because of that JTF Consulting gun oil. So I absolutely love that oil, and I would highly recommend it. All right, now let's talk about the gun grease that Jake sent out. And to be honest, until he sent me this, I'd never really given a whole lot of thought to using gun grease on my guns. I had always used gun oil. And that got me thinking, okay, why would you want to use gun grease instead of gun oil? Or gun oil instead of gun grease? And one advantage that gun oil has over grease is that since it's a liquid, it will run throughout the internals of your gun. Now, of course, you don't want it to run around too much like that Rem oil that I had been using would, but you do want it to run to a certain extent so that way it can get down into all the little cracks and crevices of the internals in your gun. But then let's say that you want to apply some lube to a very specific part of the gun and you want it to stay exactly where you applied it. That's where gun grease comes in, because since it's more of a solid, it's going to stay exactly where you applied it. And since it stays in place, it's going to create an excellent barrier in between the internals of your gun and any foreign particles that may enter into your firearm. So in a nutshell, if you want lube to get down into all those tiny little cracks and crevices, you're probably better off dripping a little bit of gun oil down in there because it'll work its way throughout those internals. If you want your lube to stay exactly where you apply it, you're going to want to go with some gun grease. So I decided to try out the JTF Consulting gun grease on my AR right here. And again, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to open it up to show you guys the grease on those internals because of YouTube's silliness. So you're going to take my word for it that the grease is in here and it is coating those internals very well. If I go ahead and open up the bolt here, I know you guys can't see that because it is so dark in there, but just looking at it, I can see a nice coating of grease on my receiver. If I drop the bolt, I can see a nice coating of grease on top of my bolt also. So that bolt, just like on the Glock, glides back and forth so smoothly. And the entire time I've owned this AR, I've never felt that bolt glide so effortlessly back and forth inside that receiver. It's actually pretty mind-blowing. So if you guys are wanting to use some gun grease on your own guns, I would highly recommend the JTF Consulting gun grease. All right, there you have it, guys. That is a look at the Joint Task Force Consulting gun oil and gun grease. Again, Jake, a big thanks for sending out these products. I think he got 2 winners right here, and I really enjoyed trying these things out on my guns. And again, sliding that Glock and bolting that AR feel amazing. They glide back and forth so smoothly since I started using this gun lube right here. So Jake, again, you got some winners right here, and I really enjoyed trying these products out. And if you guys want to try out this gun lube for yourselves, I'll leave a link to the JTF Consulting website in the description below, and I would definitely encourage you to go over there and support Jake and his company. He's been a big supporter of this channel for a very long time. If you guys remember, gosh, over a year ago now, Jake sent me out this AR trigger to review. I've still got it installed on my AR-556 right here. And again, this trigger is absolutely amazing. I did a full review of it a while back, so be sure to check that out as well. And I still got this thing installed on my AR, and I've been loving it every minute. Jake also sent me out a bunch of parts for my AR-45 build from earlier this year. And now he's sent me out a couple more winners with this gun lube. So guys, be sure to use that link in the description below and head over to the JTF website and see all the cool products and stuff they've got over there. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's review. Before you guys click off of this video, I've got one very important housekeeping note. I'm going to be taking a little bit of time off from YouTube. Now, don't get the wrong idea. Show Me Firearms is not dead. I'm not going anywhere, and the channel is not going anywhere. I've just got a lot of work and personal stuff kind of coming up over the next few weeks that I'm just going to need some more time to get sorted out and to let that stuff kind of settle down. And I don't want to have to be scrambling to produce content just for the sake of getting a video up, because that's not going to be good content that you guys will want to watch. So I want to make sure I have the time and the energy to produce good Second Amendment content that you guys will want to watch. So give me about, I'd say, 4 to 6 weeks or so I can kind of get some of the other stuff sorted out, let all that settle down, so that I can jump back into Show Me Firearms, hit the ground running, and continue producing good Second Amendment content that you guys will want to watch. Now, that personal related stuff I was talking about, there is a chance, there's a possibility that it could be very beneficial for Show Me Firearms in the future. Zero guarantees that there will actually be any benefit for the channel from this personal stuff, but there is a chance that it might. So be sure to stay tuned to see if that actually pans out or not. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and to check out my merch store. And I'll see you guys back here in about 4 to 6 weeks. And until then, show me them firearms. Now, this is absolutely going to tick the government off. But that's kind of the whole point of the Second Amendment, and that's why we love it so much.